So, we get asked quite a lot of questions. How do we get our power while we're off grid? We are in the solar system on the van, which I can show you around once I'll show you this bit of kit. We do have a solar panel on the roof. It's only a 100 watt, 120 watt panel, one. Goes down to 2 AGM 145AH each. The batteries that are linked. They're not lithium, AGM lead acid batteries, and that seems to be doing it. We never need to hook up ever, but to get our 240 power we have this Bluetti. So these are the 350 watt Bluetti panels. I think the whole system with the box and these bigger panels, I think it cost us about 2,100 and something pounds. But yeah, I'll open them up. So as you can see, they are quite big. They're not too big. And if you do point them, directly at the sun, you'll notice the wattage will go up. So bear in mind that as the sun's travelling across the sky in the day, and you sat about for hours, just every couple of hours, just direction them a bit towards the sun, the direct feed. So if you're getting like 260, 300 plus off the sun, then that will juice your power box up really quick. But yeah, they stow away quite nicely in the back. So there's various ways to charge the Bluetti. We did use the 12 volt while we were driving, but we realised that you could smell burning and it was blowing. So we kept looking on different forums and stuff like that, and everyone was having the same problem with the 12 volt charger. So we actually just got that lead, cut it, and then wired that directly onto the cab battery. And the lead that came with the Bluetti, these came with the panels. So this is an SA20 lead, which plugs into the side. So we can plug that into a little plug in the front, and that then charges straight from the cab battery while we're going. And it puts quite a bit of juice in, So the carpet in the middle of the floor, if we just pull it back and you look in there, you can see the little connection. So that's off the old 12 volt charger that came with the Bluetti, and obviously this with the SA20 that plugs into the box, and then we just plug this into there, and then it reaches sort of away it goes. You can even flap the carpet down, so you have your little lead there. We keep the box, you see, here under the table, and that's how we charge it while we're driving. So a lot better than the actual 12 volt charger that came with it. We did complain back to Hampshire Generators where we bought it, and they then back to Bluetti, and it was back and two for a couple of weeks, and they were like, what's the actual problem? And basically the fuse inside the 12 volt just kept melting and blowing, and you can't change it. I only realised this when my mechanic friend smashed it, opened it, and said, look, there's the fuse, and it was burnt out. So it's actually a problem, and other people were having that problem. But anyway, this does all of our, as you can see, it's got two plugs in the top there, and then it's got your USBs as well. So we charge phones, laptops off this. We do have USB ports in the van that come off the leisure batteries, but if we need 240 power, then things like Rebecca's GHB straighteners, that's no problem off this. The hair dryer as well, just a normal household hair dryer. It's not a reduced wattage one. That comes off this. It's a 2,000 watt box, so we did realise when you put a kettle on, like a mains kettle from a house, like any old kettle, it's 3,000 watt, it will pop it. But it has a great fault system on this where it'll recognise it so it doesn't damage it, and then you can cancel the fault off and carry on. We did change it for a 750 watt kettle, which you can boil a kettle off it basically. It sucks a bit, I think it takes like 10%, but it charges really quick, especially with the panels. So inside the van as well, we also, I'll have to show it you separately, that we do have wires that come off our leisure batteries. So we have the charging point come off the cab battery in the front, and then we also knock together a wire that comes off the leisure batteries. So this is another SA20 lead that you can buy off Amazon, and basically it's just a little plug on the end. This plugs directly into the side of the Bluetti, and then it's just connected simply to the pos and the neg. So if anything ever happened here and these for whatever reason went down, then you just plug it into the side of the Bluetti, and the van, the box basically then will run the whole van. It probably would suck the power quite a bit, but it would be good in emergency situations if you ever had a problem with your batteries. We also use this, which is, you can see that, it's an Instapot. So it's like a, what would you call it, a pressure cooker. It does all kinds. If you do look into the spec of Instapot, it's massive. We cook things in it like stews, curries, you can put big chunks of meat in there, vegetables, soups, you can make everything. So if I put a massive piece of, say, meat or something like that in there, 35 minutes, it's done. And the Bluetti's only sucked about 15% of the power, so it's very good for living off grid basically if you want to cook. So I suppose that's the answer really to your what do we do for 240 power. Bluetti AC 200p. We have two scooters as well for the kids. These, if I can get it in the background here, they are quite big. The Avio Pro ones, and I mean we've been travelling 6 months now, and I think I've only charged them things 3 times, and they've never gone right down, so they last for ages. They're a really good scooter to get. If I hook this up to the mains to charge it up, I'm probably pulling about 450 watts. So when I'm charging the two scooters, probably takes 2 hours, and it's pulling about 230 watts, which is not a lot. And when I do have the main panels out, the 4 panels charging, I'm probably pulling about, say, 300 watts of power off the sun. So it charges it up quick. 10-year guarantee on the batteries, but it's there's lots of spec to look at on them. I wouldn't say this is a comprehensive full review on the Bluetti AC 200p, even though we researched like mad about which power bank to get, because EcoFlow do a similar box and there's other companies that do similar boxes, but this is the one we decided to choose. So I've got both of the kids' scooters plugged in at the moment, and if we go into the touchscreen, I think you can just make out it's saying 253 watts, 95% power. So we'll leave that for an hour or so, and that will quite comfortably charge up the kids' scooters. And it's all free, it's all powered by the sun.
We've got totally stuck. What a nightmare.
Yeah.